Hello and welcome back to the... Yes, I see you got the sweater. Very good. Welcome back to the Comic Book ER show. You know what? Can you just not fucking eat food? Like, while we're doing this? Do you always have to be eating while we're doing this thing? If you could just put the food away, that would be great. That would be fantastic. Don't fucking roll your eyes at me, motherfucker, alright? Don't get me started. It's time for the show. It's time for the show! And welcome back to the Comic Book ER show, the show where we take characters from comics and adapt them and their costumes into live action, all while giving respect to their comic book origins and in-universe film reasonable, so it makes sense and it looks good. I'm your host, Dr. Kleb, and any pictures, any storyboards, characters, music, articles are not owned by me and owned by the respective companies, organizations, writers, musicians, so on and so forth. Today, our victim, not a popular one, but our victim today is Batroc the Leaper from Marvel Comics. Now, this character's not a very popular character in like the film or even in the Marvel universe, but he's a character that I feel like even characters like him. Are you serious with the fucking burrito right now? Put the fucking burrito away. Are you gonna make me lose my fucking mind? All right. Anyways, he's a character that I just feel like needs a touch on, and he just didn't really. He didn't really have a costume. They just kind of give him a T-shirt, which I'm not mad at. I'm not really mad at like the way they did it, because I do like it looks like a little bit of effort was given into it, but then at the like halfway through the costume, they just like gave up. And they just put, like, pants on him, which I know they're just trying to make him look like a general. But, alright, well, we'll figure it out. Alright? Don't even just focus on it. Then we can eat. Alright, so this character is George Batroc, and also known as Batroc the Leaper. He also has the nickname the Bum or the Monsieur Lapin. And he's an old character. He was released by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby in Tales of Suspense number 75. 1965. Wow. Old character. So, in the comics, he was born and raised in France. And when he was old enough, he joined the French Foreign Legion. But then he would leave them to become a mercenary, where he gained the nickname Batroc the Leaper because he is an expert in savate, also known as La Boxe Francaise. I'm probably messing that up, but he basically is a form of French kickboxing. And so he kind of wears this like head-to-toe costume that I would expect someone to wear, like if they were like going to be in the Olympics or something. You know, he wears like a very athletic type clothing, and then he looks like he becomes a mercenary, but he doesn't seem like he's like an evil character. He just kind of like messes with Captain America, tries to get back at him for just messing up his plans. He gets hired by somebody, it just says them, to steal Inferno 47, and Cap just basically defeats him, and then he just like keeps trying to get back at him. And sometimes he does have a code where he when he gets hired by people, like he was hired by Hydra to abduct Sharon Carter, and he lured Captain America in a trap because he was trying to get back at Cap, and he said they were men without honor, and so he helped Cap and switch sides. And so he seems to be like a character that would be perfect for a type of character that needs to be like that you could like redeem. You know, like he doesn't always work with the good guys, but he's the type of character that would be perfect to churn over if he found that the people he was working for were men without honor and stuff. But looks like he's been employed by Kingpin before, and he's been in a team with Trickshot, and apparently he's just knows all the criminals, apparently. Alright, let's look at some facts about him. He doesn't have any powers, but he does have near superhuman conditioning, so he trains his body to the point where he is like an expert in acrobatics, to the point where people think he has abilities. His unique, obviously, is leaping, where he gets this thing. It's an Olympic level athlete level of expert. His leg muscles are, he can leap up into 10 feet in the air. He has peak human strength, peak agility, peak reflexes. He can even dodge bullets and arrows. And it's pretty impressive for a human. And says he's a master thief. He's a martial artist. And he carries around whip canes, which is pretty cool. It's kind of like Daredevil, a little bit. Alright, some little fun facts. Batroc is a vegetarian. Interesting. He's an avid reader of a comedic Crazy magazine. During a cameo in one of the comic books, he was seen having Hawkeye's arrows removed from his leg by Dr. Powell. Jeez. And he was in a video game. And betrayals of Batroc have varied quite. He can meet Cap on an equal footing level, and he's a comic relief type character. So he's not like a completely silly character, but he's not like a character that's like, that can't be cool every once in a while. Like, I feel like we can make him cool. You know, even though he's kind of like a silly character, there are, it's like Polka Dot Man. We can find ways to make him not silly. Okay, so let's move on to the other side. The film. Also, I want to mention in his costume, he wears that kind of like head to toe leotard kind of costume where it's like sleek to his body. But then sometimes he has ones where it's like a scarf hanging off. And all right, moving on to the film version. In this one, he's a mercenary and a pirate who uses skills to become Interpol's most wanted. And he is hired by Nick Fury to hijack the Lemurian Star, which is a ship owned by S.H.I.E.L.D. But then Captain America comes in and defeats him, which is an iconic scene. And he's taken in custody. And that's pretty much all you really see from him in that movie. And the next time you see him, he's in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier show, where Sharon Carter breaks him out, and this Flag Smashers all Sharon Carter, she's the power broker, Batroc, and the Flag Smashers all kind of come together, and he just helps them. And there's like a couple scenes where it's at the beginning where he's kind of gliding, and he kind of gets in this like glider suit, and it's kind of like he gets in this like glider suit thing, and then I think he gets away at some point. But then in the very end, after helping the Flag Smashers, he decides that he wants to like overthrow the Power Broker, now knowing that it's Sharon, and he was gonna like tell everybody that it was her, and then she kills him, and then that's the end of the Power Broker. Another character that is completely, I wouldn't say misused, but missed on future chances. You know, he could have had him just be in prison and just have him be in the raft, which would have been cool. He would have been like just another villain to be there, because it's just like, you don't have to kill every single villain that you have. I just think it's kind of ridiculous that it's just like a common trope. We just keep killing the characters. Like, you don't have to kill them. I feel like there's a way he could have survived. But anyways, so in the movie form, he just kind of wears like this like jacket in the Winter Soldier film, and he faces off against Steve Rogers' Captain America, and he doesn't really have like a mask. He just wears like a jacket and camouflage pants, which I do like the fact that they have this actor who, well, I don't even know if he's a full-time actor. He's like a guy who is an actual fighter in like mixed martial arts, which is kind of cool. The UFC or something. I don't watch sports, but an actual skilled fighter, which I thought was pretty cool. They said that he brought unique things to the role, which is always fun, right? But then you just have him wear like these camo pants that don't really blend in. So, what you see me drawing there is I had an idea to not completely change this suit, because I do like the top half of this Winter Soldier jacket that he has on. It does reference his comic book form, but I just feel like it could have been more, like maybe add a little bit of purple to his pants, which is his color. His colors are purple and yellow, obviously. And in the comics, he wears this like skin tight form, which I get it. When you're moving on to a movie, you're like, okay, he's going to be this pirate and he's going to be more tactical. But you don't want it to be so tactical that you forget who the character is. It's like, you can have it so he has this like belt guard with all these things on it. And I do like the sides where it has all these like, it almost kind of looks like a bomb vest, but it's not. It's just like a bunch of million pockets for all kinds of stuff that he could have, which is kind of cool. But then they didn't really show him like pulling things out of those pockets, which I guess is fine, because him fighting Captain America and doing a lot of leaping is kind of the thing that was really important, because his name is Batroc the Leaper, and so having him not leap is kind of crazy, because it's just his whole thing. And I just wanted to have, even though he's not a popular character, he's not super popular, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, who cares? But I feel like every character, like he lives in a fictional universe, and every character should have a full costume. They shouldn't be like afraid to wear their costumes. And this was a time period where they were kind of scared to have characters look too, they were afraid to ride that line, make him look more comic accurate, or make him look so, dull that he's just like not that character. And he does do some good fights in here, but I just feel like his costume could be tweaked a little bit. Or this is not a tweaker episode, by the way. I just had an idea where maybe in the Winter Soldier movie, he's wearing, I do like the camo idea, because he's supposed to be like a military guy. It's like where he got his like training from, and he trains himself. And that mask that I'm drawing right there, was kind of my idea to be like he based his helmet off of, it's like a cap type where it has a little strap on the bottom where you can open it and take it off, like Cap has. And so I just thought it'd be a good, almost like a parallel. And the wing things on his eyes is my excuse, because in the comics, I always thought his most iconic look was the twirly mustache, because he literally is one of those villains that just like has the twirly mustache, and he's not really evil, but he's just like, it's an iconic look, I think, for his character. And for him to not have a twirly mustache, it's fine, but I think I should at least reference it. And so I give him a mask that has like these lines that come off from almost above the lip all the way across, almost like a mustache, but not in a way where it just looks like someone drew a mustache on his mask. It looks like kind of like smoke coming off his mask, almost like war paint, I guess, which is my excuse, really. Well, you can do that, but I also thought, his mask in the comics, he kind of has this like Wolverine-esque look, or I would say even Hawkeye's too. But if they had made Hawkeye's the way that we made Hawkeye, like how his mask had the wings on the eyes, I think it would make sense if you would try to mimic that look, seeing as Hawkeye is an Avenger and he is a friend of Captain America. He would make like a mixture helmet with Captain America type helmet with the Hawkeye eye wings. So that was my idea there. Really mix those ideas together, and it kind of comes off as like a army helmet with war paint on it, like a fictional army helmet, like with like Captain America's, where it covers like his whole top half of his head. Was my idea there. It's another thing too, is that he's not even like the main villain of the movie, but I feel like just having him in a costume for having him in a costume and having him be his comic book form. He doesn't have to be the main villain. It's just having him in that costume is just like fun, and I don't know why they don't do it, because it would be a way to capitalize off that. Like, why wouldn't you want to? If kids saw him, this guy, jumping around, kicking Captain America's shield the way that he does in the comics, where he's like fully leaping on it. I don't. I just think that they really can capitalize off. I don't know why they don't try to, but that's not really the point for me. It's just that would be my excuse to be like, hey, you can capitalize off of this. Why aren't you doing it? And it's just like they're afraid, kind of make him too comic accurate sometimes. But then you'll have characters that are like like in other shows, like I've mentioned before, a lot of other ones, or Scarlet Witch even. You would think that her costume would be ridiculous on screen, but they found a way to do it, and it translated very nicely. Falcon, by the way, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, he's in Batroc the Leaper's in that show, and to give me a Falcon suit that looks so amazing and almost completely accurate, as close as you can get without giving him literal actual fucking like feather wings and a bird, like the closest that you can do in the Falcon the Winter Soldier, the first half where he has the Falcon suit, that is like the most perfect Falcon suit that he wears before he becomes Captain America. And to have him chase down Batroc and not have Batroc wearing a costume, I don't know, I don't really like that idea where one character is in a costume and the other character is just like a thug. They're just dressed like a thug. Or sometimes they'll have it, the hero is dressed like a normal guy, and then the villain is like this amazing. It's like people can only afford one suit. But if you have a hero with a really cool looking suit and a villain with a also equally cool looking suit, it helps the younger audience, pulls them in, you know, and it's just like in their universe it makes sense because they're trying to rival each other, so they make like suits to mock each other, you know. So it's Batroc. He's not like an evil guy, but he is a villain, and so he would make a suit that was kind of like his version of what they have, you know. And so that's kind of why he would wear something like this. And also it'd be like, maybe it's easier for him to move around in. The second one here, that now you see me working on, is going to be a little weird. To be honest, I mixed it with a couple of ones that I saw. There was one that I saw where he had like almost this like pilot look about him. Like he looked like he was like a pilot of a plane or something. And the fact that they call him a pirate, I was like, oh, maybe having him kind of look more piratey mixed with the aviator goggles on his mask could look a little cool. It's just like anything better than him wearing a jacket and a fucking t-shirt would have been better. It's just like, you know, I'm not even mad that they killed him at the end, because it's just like they do that a lot in movies, but I really wish they wouldn't have. But having him wear something is better than just buying something at fucking Goodwill and having Captain America wear his like most iconic outfit. And that was the problem, I think, with Winter Soldier in the Falcon show, is that the main characters, fantastic. Like the main characters like Falcon, like Sam Wilson and Bucky, their dynamic was amazing. And then having like the villains not really have anything. It's like John Walker. He's kind of like an evil version of Cap. You know, he's U.S. agent. And so having him wear a costume and then having Batroc be in it, and still to this day wearing a fucking jacket. It's like, I at least liked it in the Winter Soldier movie where he wore an actual, like, it was closer. It wasn't like perfect, but it looked like they were trying to be comic accurate. But when they got to Winter Soldier, they just kind of gave up. They were like, fuck it, he's just wearing a shirt. And so I feel like I kind of mixed a bunch of stuff. Like I added in the idea where he's wearing like almost like a mask that he has to keep together, like a pirate mask, and then he's got like these aviator goggles. It was based off of a look that I found in one of the comics, and I was like, if they're dead set on giving him a jacket, and I was like, might as well try to make him a little more piratey. So I gave him the knee pads based off of a comic that I see. I kind of based it really off of the one that I found. But that's why this one looks so vastly different from the other one. Because I feel like, characters, you don't always have to give them the same suit, right? But if they have a suit that looks really cool, it kind of improves the character a little bit. Because it goes, he went out of his way to become something more than what he is, right? He's not just like going to Goodwill and being like, oh, I gotta fight Captain America today. I'll just find something. I'll put something together. Some gray pants, maybe this purple shirt I found. There we go. It's like they're going up against like the mightiest people ever in their world. So it's like they got to be wearing like shit that rival them. Like armor or like stuff that makes it comfortable for them. That's not a fucking t-shirt. Because he's a supervillain, right? And so it's just don't be afraid to make them more comic accurate if you think that they should be. But then again, if you get to a point where he's so comic accurate that's a little weird, translate it. It's like I even think that this one that I made, I don't know, maybe I was on the line a little bit, but the first one I think is a little better because it's kind of camo, but it's purple camo. That's my best at trying to draw camo, by the way. Very sorry if you didn't realize that. I just don't know how to draw camo. But I feel like the first costume kind of could be iconic. Like you could just wear that all the time. I would have no problem with it. And it's just like have him reoccur as a villain. Like imagine if they had, well, they do that. Where they have Zemo return in this, and he wears his mask for like 5 fucking seconds. Literally 5 seconds. And so I feel like it improves, it makes the world more convincing if you have them wear their costumes, because it's like they become different than who they are. Like his name literally is Batroc, but he's become what he's good at, and he's a leaper, right? He's good at the kickboxing, and he's not going to call himself Captain Kickboxing, so he's just Batroc the Leaper. It's kind of like a little nickname they threw at him, and which I understand. With him, he's not really a huge character. He's just kind of like a little villain, but I still feel like he deserves the same treatment everybody else does. He deserves a costume, just like everybody else. And having Zemo wear his costume in that show, having Falcon wearing his accurate and Captain America suit, Bucky wearing whatever he wears, and then having Batroc be in there and wearing this costume, and then the Flag Smashers be in there and have them not be wearing anything close. It's like I just feel like I don't know who works for these costume design people, but I can guarantee you that they make easy money because I mean, I understand it can be hard, but it's just you can't be afraid to make the costume look like a costume, because when you're working on like a supervillain and he has a costume in the comic books, you have to make that costume look as comic accurate as possible, with also being like in the universe. In this one he's a pirate, right? He is hired by Nick Fury for some reason, which I forgot why Nick Fury hired him, but he's like a thief, he's like a master thief, and he's like a mercenary, and so I get it. You put a lot of tactical on him, and in the Winter Soldier movie, it's not bad. It's just maybe he could be missing a helmet. He could have like a helmet on him, and then maybe a little bit of purple on his pants that match the same as his top. It just make him look like he's got a uniform, like a supervillain uniform on, rather than him just like walking into Goodwill. Also, this form here that you see me drawing is a fun one that I think would be really cool if someday they decide, because I seen that in the comics that it said that Batroc at some point joined Doctor Doom for some reason, and Doomsday is on the horizon. It's there, it's in the future. And so I thought, the guy who plays Batroc is like an MMA fighter, and I was like, it'd be really cool if they made like an MMA. I kind of made like an MMA style outfit that has Batroc themed to kind of fit both the person playing him and the character, because of course what's he going to be comfortable in? He's going to be comfortable wearing what he always wears when he goes to fight people in the ring. So I kind of made like a little outfit, but it has like a, I imagine it'd be made out of like some sort of I forget what the material's called, but it's like really smooth, almost like a silk, but it's not. It's like breathable kind of. I even have clothing of it myself, but it's just like if the whole outfit right there was made like for athletes type of material, and he's got the boxing gloves on. It was this look also was based off of I seen a picture on a game, and I thought that would be really cool for him to have not only an outfit that mirrors him, but mirrors the actual guy playing him, which came up with this like UFC suit. I mean, it'd be cool to see it. It's like kind of like a little dream that I had, where I was like, it'd be cool if I know he's dead, but maybe when they do the multiverse thing, maybe there's a Batroc out there who's not dead, and he's wearing something like that. So, because sometimes that can be the problem, that you make this really cool costume for this character that you want in your movie or whatever, and the actor doesn't think it's comfortable or doesn't like it. That could be an issue. So I was trying to make an outfit that would be easier for him to be comfortable with, since it's from the same world he's from. You know, I had like a little mask, like a little half mask, and then have like a hood that kind of blends in with it a little bit, and almost just like a whole wrestling outfit, like an MMA outfit. It would just be cool to see him, and I don't know, maybe you could add in those little whip canes that he has, and he pulls them out and he whips them around. It'd be cool to see, you know, and he fights the new Captain America again. I don't know, he's the type of character that you kind of could just throw in there whenever you're just like, you want a really good fight, but you don't want it to be like a serious, like, era-changing fight. You just want a really cool fight. And Batroc's a good character for that. Yeah, moving on to the action scenes. I drew one for Winter Soldier in the fight where he fights Steve Rogers, and then I made one for Sam Wilson Captain America. So it's kind of like him facing against the Captain Americas in both different things, and I cannot believe I am drawing Captain America yet again, but I am. So yeah, even though I did enjoy the fight with him, with Batroc and Steve Rogers Captain America, I just kind of made up my own little move, because there was a cool thing in the comics that he used to do where he would use both feet, jump off the ground, and like jump on Captain America's shield. I mean, he probably was intending on jumping like on his head, like Captain America. It's just kind of a cool scene where he jumps on his shield and it creates this like spark that comes off. And even though it didn't happen in the movie, I just kind of been like, oh, that's where I got this like idea from. Yeah, you know, he's not like everybody's favorite character, but it's just my attempt at taking character like what I would consider to be like a B villain. I don't know, maybe a Z. I don't know. I consider Z characters to be like Polka Dot Man, the Condiment King, all the dumb, kind of silly, goofy ones that nobody really wants to fight unless you're just like having a goofy time. But then there are the really messed up and the really cool characters like, you know, like Red Skull and like Armin Zola. You know, I guess is one for Captain America. Zemo, right? Zemo's a big one. And Batroc the Leaper's not really like a game-changing type character. He's just kind of like, he does stuff because people hire him to do things and he gets paid for it. But then also he kind of has like little I would say feuds with heroes. Like he doesn't like hate them, but he just has like these like competitive feelings towards them, and he wants to like best them, it feels like. kind of similar to Taskmaster, where he just wants to like not just meet their level, but be better than them, because it's like Captain America has super serum, and Batroc the Leaper is a guy. He's a human being, right? And he can rival Captain America. Pretty impressive for a goofy character, if I might say. Another thing I want to mention when it comes to a character like this is something you won't hear me say very often, but lately they've been having problems with humanizing the wrong characters, and trying to like in this Winter Soldier and the Falcon show, they try to redeem this chick who's completely gone off the rails. Which, that's not on Sam Wilson. Sam Wilson's entire character is about trying to he's trying to make people recover from their trauma, because he used to be like in a way, he kind of was like a therapist for people who had super trauma, mostly in the military. But if you're trying to redeem any character, like, you're trying to redeem, like, Mobius, Red Skull, and, like, Zemo. These are characters who are straight-up villains, alright? You know, it's like, I know every once in a while, in the comics, like, Doctor Doom, he's even joined the heroes for the good of, like, Latveria. But he's still a villain. Very much a villain. But a character like Batroc the Leaper, you know, it's like, I don't really see him as, like, evil. You know, he just, like, is involved with a lot of bad stuff. Like, it doesn't seem like he does things out of spite. He just wants to, like, best them, it seems. He just wants to, like, challenge them and fight them at their best. And, but then there's even moments where if he thinks someone he's working for has gone too far, he will literally stop working for them and turn on them. And if you're trying to team, like, U.S. agent, you know, which is fine, because it worked in the Thunderbolts show movie. But I just feel like if you're really dead set on trying to redeem any certain villain, Batroc the Leaper is the perfect person to choose, because he really does have that, because he's not evil. He just is involved in a lot of bad people. Like, a lot of his friends, like, he's, like, in the comics, he said he works with, like, Trickshot, and he works with Crossbones. He even works with, like, the villains of Captain America, which are some really bad people. And, you know, he's not evil. He's just working with a lot of really fucked up people. So, you know, see, this is the perfect character if they ever want to try to redeem anybody. They're, like, doing it backwards. They're, like, acting like Batroc the Leaper is this huge villain that we have to kill him. And characters like, you know, like Red Skull could be redeemed. It's like, come on. Batroc the Leaper, he's just a guy who wants to, like, match his ability with the other villains. And that's the only real, it seems like that's the only real thing that he has. He just wants to be able to best someone like Captain America and say that he did it. Like, he's just a simple guy. Just a mercenary who wants to best his foes. That aren't even really his foes, because he'll join their side if his boss, whoever that might be at the time, goes too far. And so he's quite literally the perfect character to choose. Yeah, that's what I want to say about that. But, you know, even I think that this one here, we kind of went really heavy into the pirate theme with this suit. I kind of preferred the UFC fighter one and the first one out of the ones that we had, but you don't have to make them like that. Also, if you have any characters that you've seen in live action, you think, oh, their suit kind of sucks, maybe we can try to make a better one. Just send a comment or send it to my Discord or anything, really. Search the entire internet. Let me know, and it could be a future episode. We'll fix that character up. I'll add it to my list, and we'll make it a future episode. Also, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing if anyone saw my Discord and you joined or anywhere. I love seeing other people's artwork and other interpretations of costumes for all these other characters that could have been in like the Marvel or DC or whatever universe you want me to do. So if you've done your own, I would love to see them, definitely. If you could either post them wherever. I'm not too tech savvy, but wherever you're able to post them, either by Discord or just email it to me or something. I would love to see it. And I would love to make future episodes. We'll see. As of right now, we have enough episodes to last all the way to episode 53. Yeah. And we're currently on episode 8. So that's a lot of characters to go through. But we'll find them all. We'll sift through the multiverse and we'll find every character that's ever been in live action. And if they have if they haven't been properly represented, we will do it for them. Because I'm tired of waiting. So, I don't know what else I could say about Batroc the Leaper. He's not really a huge character. But, if you stick around long enough here, then pretty much thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you made your own versions. Like, you don't have to make the same versions I do if you're drawing along with me. That's cool. That's really fun. I'd love to see some other versions if anybody has them. But anyways, I think that's about all I have for Batroc the Leaper. Thanks for watching.